Afternoon all. Pre-match team news. Obviously, the Toon are away to Watford this afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff in the Barclays Premier League. So, disappointingly, near enough an unchanged lineup system to the Leeds game. We found good success when we transitioned to a 4 at the back and introduced Isaac Hayden back into midfield. Steve Bruce has not learnt the lessons, and we're playing 5 at the back again. So I just whittle through the starting 11. Then there's a few injury things I want to touch on. So we have in goal, Carl Darlow retains his place. I don't think he did anything wrong against Leeds. There's a couple of saves he made that you would have liked to. I think there was one that sort of squirted out. I think it squirted out to his right hand side. And you think, oh, and you think, yeah, you should be holding on to that, but he hasn't played for a long time, you know. So Carl Darlow, 5 at the back. You have Javier Menkia retains his place at right wing back. The 3 centre backs, we have Isaac Hayden. I imagine we'll be playing at the right side centre back. Federico Fernandez comes in for Jamal Lascelles. I see a thigh problem. Then Kieran Clark on the left side. Then Matt Ritchie, left wing back. Now, actually, I'm going to whittle through the 11, then we'll get to that in a minute. 4-man midfield, according to the Premier League app. But I can imagine it being a 3 and then a 2. So we've got Joe Willock, who's apparently injured, but is starting this game. Sean Longstaff, Miggy Almiron, Joe Linton, and then Alan Saint-Maximin, the man himself. So, a couple of things to touch on. Jamal Lascelles has picked up a thigh problem. It's quite a recurring injury for him. Feel for him because, you know, he is the captain. And on his day, I think he is one of our best defenders. But he's picked up a thigh problem. We've stuck with 5 at the back and kept Matt Ritchie in, even though he was exposed by Rafinha quite a few times last week. He's not had a great start to the season. He's fine going forward, obviously. You know, he's got a wonderful left peg on him. However, he's been exposed quite a lot. Then Joe Willock. Steve Bruce said in the Friday presser that Joe Willock has picked up a freak injury. Now, whether I'm just looking on the wrong sources, but the Premier League app has got him starting the game in midfield with Miggy Almiron and Sean Longstaff, but interesting to see what will happen there. Players on the bench, it's good to see Elliot Anderson back in the side, back in the team, in the matchday squad. Obviously he was a bit like Matty Longstaff. He made his debut under Steve Bruce in the cup tie against Arsenal last season. I think it was, when was it? It was like February time, maybe? I can't remember. And then didn't really play since. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there, whether he can hopefully get on the pitch. But I imagine if we need a goal or need someone to change the game, Steve will probably look to Jeff Hendrick to change the game, to score a goal, to set up an assist or something. You know, we have got some good attacking options on the bench. Like I said, Elliot Anderson, I think it'd be good to bring him on because, all right, he's not a fully fledged Premier League player, but fearless. Watford won't know a lot about him, etc. Got Ryan Fraser on the bench, who has been just a complete disappointment since he signed for Bournemouth, to be honest. Jacob Murphy, positive substitution. He'll come on hopefully at some point. Dwight Gale, he will be the ideal man to bring on to get a goal, but he won't get a look in. Fabian Schär, Emil Kraft on the bench as well, along with Mark Gillespie and Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis should have started this game, in my opinion. We should have gone with 4 at the back, with Jamal Lewis at a flat left back, Mankia at right back, and then I would have probably gone with either Fernandez and Schär, or I would have gone with Fernandez and Schär, I think, actually. So it was disappointing, but excuse me, there we go. Watford, I did have a quick look at their starting 11. I don't know it back to front, but some familiar faces there. Obviously, Josh King, the striker from Norway, up top on his own. So I think they're playing a 4-5-1. So they're loading the midfield. So whereas initially it would look like Joe Linton would be up top with some Maximan, I imagine he'll drop back into the midfield to try and bolster us to compete with Watford in the midfield. We shall see. Obviously Moussa Sissoko in midfield for Watford. Craig Cathcart has been, I think, is this his second spell at Watford? I don't know. But I can remember watching him at Plymouth Argyle when he was on loan from Manchester United. So yeah, good player. But yeah, I don't know. I reckon it's a very winnable game, even though it's away. It's a winnable game. We might be alright. We might be alright. We need our top players to step up. We need ASM to continue his form, but we need players to support him. If Joe Linton can have another game like he did last week, power to him. Fantastic. Almiron needs to continue his decent form, but defensively we need to be better. Almiron, Willock and Longstaff need to be more defensively fucking savvy in this game. You know, they left massive gaps last week, massive gaps, and the defence just looked shambolic at times. In that vein, I'm sorry, Jamal. You know, I've said it on this channel many a time. I love Jamal Lascelles' style of play, but this injury has probably come at the right time. Probably come at the right time for us. You know, we got Fernandez in there. Hopefully, we can shore it up at the back. Excuse me, tired today. I'm going to cut this video off because I'm knackered. Out in the car at the minute, but I'm going to try and watch the game. Up the tune to win 2-1. Come on.